Good morning, South Florida, and welcome to the breakfast at the Brooklyn Cafe TV.
Take a deep breath and a good whiff of that coffee brewing. Grab yourself some toast, a donut, or any breakfast as Dawn and Freddie get you up and ready for the rest of the day.
So call in at 888-565-1470 to share a tip of the day.
Or just to say good morning. Shake off your sleepies, buckle in, because it's showtime.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe, the breakfast. Sounds like the mobsters.
The mobsters, the breakfast.
The breakfast.
Happy Thursday to you.
It's Thursday?
I know.
It's like one giant blur.
It's one giant party here at the cafe. We're actually having one giant party.
First of all, let me tell you, let me correct that, because I have discovered that everything that Dow says, people take it verbatim. It is not a party.
Only your people.
It is morning coffee with a little bit of CBD and a little bit of hello. There ain't no party going on here. There's going to be a party coming out here because you heard what's coming out, right?
What's coming out?
It's going to open up again. We're going to come back slowly but surely. West Palm Beach has not been approved. I stand corrected. It looks like the 10th or the 11th.
Yes, hospitals are reopening on the 11th.
But I heard a bird tell me it's going to be sooner than that because it's just hard times right now. And people need to get back to work, need their jobs, and yada, yada, yada. But anyway, I don't want to start on that, because I could do that all day long.
Happy Thursday to you. Although tomorrow we have a big day, a big party day planned. You and I are having a big party by ourselves, all I can tell you. It's really a shame because we're doing a phenomenal wine tasting right here in the studio from PRP Wines. And Dawn Cliff, the wine chick, she has an incredible promotion that is out, $70. Get you 6 bottles of the most spectacular wines from PRP Wines and a virtual wine tasting. The wines came in yesterday, so we have them for tomorrow. I think my jaw was on the floor. You too, Teddy too. We went, oh my gosh, and even our favorite, the one with the gold flakes, is there.
Yes, but don't
that
give out.
we are saving for a special occasion.
Don't give out all the secrets, because we need to establish how we're going to do this.
That's going to be
You're
tomorrow.
not going to open up 10 bottles of wine
Nope,
to have a
we're
sip,
gonna
because
start
what are you going to do with it?
We're going to start slowly.
I voted in to having a wine tasting every day. And I was denied. I was told that I was out of my mind. But the reason being is that it isn't even the tasting. I know that the wines are going to be
they're so good.
Spectacular. I know it for a fact. It isn't even that. It's that you can't consume but maybe a glass or two an evening, let's say, right?
But you know how we talk about workarounds, and it's about changing your business and changing your strategies, focus on what you do. And Dawn is always out doing wine tastings where you get a little taste. Well, now you can't give a little taste, so how do they get the wine? So the company repositioned, and they are sending full bottles of wine. So when you find the wines that you like, you can order a case, you can mix a case, you can do 6 and 6, 4, 4 and 4. They're really, really working with people to get these wines out to you. And I have to tell you, these are the most spectacular wines. A lot going on. So that's tomorrow. We've got flowers. We're getting ready for Mother's Day. Today we've got Anthony Hathaway. He's joining us with Carmen Cares, a different Carmen Cares than our Carmen Cares that works with laser therapy and light and healing. It's a different Carmen Cares. It's a GoFundMe page. We're going to talk about that.
Bikers, and I wanted to play music from the song, music from the movie. But I couldn't remember the name of the movie.
Oh,
Easy Rider.
I also owe you an apology.
Yes, you do.
Not really an apology.
Hold it. I'm getting ready for the apology. You ready?
It's not really an apology. It's a clarification.
No, it's an apology. Clarification doesn't
Well, I
work
don't
for me.
think I said anything hurtful, so it's
Yes,
really not.
you did. Absolutely. Look at the blood.
We talked about yesterday about the funeral that happened in New York, about the rabbi's funeral.
Yes.
When I saw
Oh.
the amount
You saw the amount of
people.
I tell you, it was thousands of people. You make it sound like it was 10 people in the car club.
I'm a visual learner. Once I actually saw what it was, it really was, that was beyond spirituality. That was beyond.
That was anger.
In my opinion.
That was a protest.
That was beyond religion. That was beyond tradition. That was something that was just, goes against everything that we've been working on, especially in New York.
Listen, the bottom line here is my English is not very sexy. So I tried to explain to you, Lucy, what was going on.
I can't visualize thousands, but when I
I
saw
get
it,
I get it.
it changes.
And did you see how they stayed and lingered in the blocks? It was an eternity. The blocks that they took over,
Yeah.
all over Brooklyn,
Yeah.
in protest because they weren't allowed to do what they wanted to do.
It was just beyond religion, beyond tradition. It was a protest. It was just, and most did not have masks on. At least the ones that they had
None.
positioned
Maybe
on,
2 or 3.
on the news. So it wasn't even as if many had masks on.
That's why the police
They
were
did not.
called, because if they had the mask, they probably would have let them alone and get the damn thing over with 2 hours later. But because they weren't wearing masks, and because it was at the epicenter of the country,
Right.
right? I mean, there were more cases, over 25,000, I think, in New York than anywhere in the world. And if you're going to do something like that in the epicenter, you're going to get noticed. I mean, come on, use a little common sense. Also, now that you brought that up, I want to let people know, listen, I am all in to advertising businesses, okay? I love this. You want to call in and tell me you're
But
doing
that's
burgers?
what we do. I
It
have to
is.
tell you.
But I also got to let you know, if I ask you to meet me halfway, to come on the air and talk about your business, you can't tell me you're too busy. That ain't the way it works, okay? And I'm just putting it out there because I am more than willing to meet you halfway, but I am not going to carry the ball because if I don't know who you are, I may say the wrong thing. I'm going to say, your burgers don't work. I don't know.
Well, the funny thing with that is Gubba Rum. You
Gubba
got so
Rum.
excited, right?
I am excited.
We don't know the legalities of what we can and can't. Didn't
I've been
know.
screamed at of like a week.
But we've been
Yeah,
clarified on what we can actually
They
say.
yell at me all the time.
But here we go.
But you know what? I'm trying to let people know that I don't care what the rules are. Right now, this is one of the best tastings rums. And remember, I went to high school in Puerto Rico. I've lived in Puerto Rico. I went to that other company. I've been to the plant in Carolina. I've been all over the rum industry. My father was in sugarcane for rum and all that. I'm just telling you, this stuff is freaking unbelievable. I don't know how to sell it. You want it? David DePino ordered the first case. You want it? I sell it.
And what's
I give
nice
it to
is
somebody to sell
with
it
the
to.
Gubba Rum, there comes 6 bottles, 3 and 3. You can buy a case and give it to your friends. You can buy a case and cost share it with your friends. So it's a great deal.
Maybe we just have to pick out, we have to figure out how we're going to deliver it to you, but we have a couple of ideas for that. It's the best. And like I told you, I want to pick a day where everybody in the country buys 1 bottle. 1 bottle in the entire country.
Have you noticed our advertising has now shifted to beer and to rum and wine and flowers? It's Mother's Day coming up. We're going to keep going. It's
Well, I wanted to-
graduation also.
But I wanted to talk to you about that. I thought that Teddy, our intern, came out with a fantastic idea.
We need a new title for Teddy.
Teddy Unscripted.
Teddy, our go-to. She's like our everything. I know. More
That's
than
a,
an
that's a
intern.
song. Don't get all mushy on me, please. I'm just telling you, she came up with a great deal for Mother's Day.
Okay.
So, Dawn the wine chick, I don't know Dawn the wine chick's last name.
Dawn Clifford.
Clifford. Dawn Clifford sent us that whole box so we could do this whole thing with her. And Teddy said, wow, I'm going to get a box and I'm going to set up a table outside, with social distancing, for Mother's Day and invite the neighbors to come down and everybody have a glass of wine to say Happy Mother's Day. I mean, I don't have my mom no more, but I'm still going to hold up a glass. I think it's a fabulous idea.
And it comes with a wine tasting. So Dawn comes in virtually through your computer, and she teaches you about the S's and the legs and all of these things. She told me, just an ounce I can give you tomorrow, Freddie. You just get a little taste.
I know, you can only give a little taste, but the question here is how many bottles you're going to open because,
Tomorrow we're only opening 2.
all right, because that means you're going to have 2 bottles lingering around here for the next,
Tomorrow we're just opening 2. We're opening a red, we're opening the Chevy, and we're opening a white. And
You're
we're gonna
opening
save-
up a Chevy?
Yes, Chevalier. She calls it the Chevy.
Really?
So tomorrow we're opening the Chevy, and we're
Join us
opening a
tomorrow
white.
so you can get into my Chevy.
And that's going to be, so it didn't sound right. Poor Valerie.
I'm not saying
This
nothing.
poor girl, we may never see her again. She's been here for a whopping 14 minutes.
It's a Chevy. In the day, Chevys were the car. I had a Nova, the car.
So that'll be
Mi
tomorrow.
casa.
And what's happening tonight? We've got a big show coming up tonight.
Keeping my fingers crossed on this one. Big show tonight.
Big show. We've
Big
got
show.
Benny Blades hosting the 2-minute warning. It is the NFL show. It started last Thursday at 7:30. It continues tonight at 7:30 with Benny Blades as the host. Tonight's guests are Higgy, I should say Mark Higgs, a.k.a. Higgy, and Jeff Cross.
Now, do you know who? I know who Jeff Cross is. Do you know who Higgy is?
Yes.
He was a running back, right?
Both played for the Dolphins.
For the Dolphins, both NFL players. Ted Cross? Jeff Cross. There is a Ted Cross, but there's Jeff Cross I think he was a tight end, wasn't he?
And he's a financial planner, so he's going to be on, and Mark Higgs is going to be on, Benny Blades. It's the quickest 30 minutes you've ever seen.
I know, don't blink, because it'll be over.
I've already been told it is going to be an hour show. Everyone is like, that was the quickest 30 minutes ever.
Well, you got to understand something. I mean, we do 3 hours a day.
I know.
And by the end of 3 hours, we run out of things to say. I can see
Never.
that. But a half hour, I don't think I can do a half hour anymore.
Really?
We should try.
We
And
should
that's the
try.
end of the show. That's it. We're done.
We're done. It's like hello and goodbye. We're good to go. But that's coming up tonight at 7:30. So you got a lot of things happening.
Got a lot of stuff happening. And, of course, we had the NFL draft last week. And the Miami Dolphins, I am not a Miami Dolphins fan, but I tip my hat. They brought in the kid from Alabama, which I was very happy to see. Tua. There's going to be so many play on words. He's going to be the number one jersey the whole night, but he's going to ride the bench because you guys just brought in the quarterback.
You know what I also found interesting? You told me a kid from FIU was drafted for the Jets.
That's right. The quarterback from FIU.
You never hear much about FIU's football team, so when you told me that, I went, wow.
Let me tell you something. This kid coming out of FIU apparently is bright enough. He's going to be a head coach one day.
Wow.
That's how intelligent this kid is in the game of football. The Jets drafted him in the 4th round. They should have drafted him in the 6th round. He should have been their last draft. But they made it a priority to bring this kid and draft him before they took a second wide receiver. They never did that. I don't understand the logic until you read up on this kid. This kid, not only that, I'm going to reach out to see if I can get him. He lives in Florida. To see if he can come down and get on the show somehow, because I understand that in football terminology, this kid is a football brain. And that's what they want around the quarterback up in New York.
That was an interesting pick, because you never hear about FIU.
They also
FIU is kind of this quiet school, but it's
Yeah.
not a quiet school. It's
Not-
just a powerhouse
And they
school.
brought him in because what the Jets did is they brought in out of their 10 picks, I think 4 or 6 picks, were team captains. And all of a sudden, the New York Jets football team is in love with the Florida Gators. They drafted everybody from there. They got a whole secondary from a team that played together 2 years ago in the secondary. This is craziness. What the hell is going on in Florida?
It's totally crazy. We do have to give a big shout out to these kids that are graduating college this semester. Graduations theoretically would be starting now, and they are not.
You know what? Yes, you are.
They're graduating, but you don't have the whole pomp and circumstance
Saying, you
of the
know what?
graduation.
Can they get a cap and gown? So give them a cap and gown, celebrate from home, and do it
That's
right.
what I'm
and-
hoping they're doing.
Yeah,
And I
do
really
something.
hope the colleges are going to do a virtual graduation and pick the time and the day and call the kids' names, because you know what? They deserve it. They've worked hard. Colleges, take the time out. Do it from your homes if you need
I got a
to,
question
and go
for you.
through those
I was thinking
names.
about this.
Yeah.
How many miles of beach do you think are in Florida?
How do you come up with these questions?
How many miles of beach?
A lot.
Mucho miles.
A
right?
lot. Mucho más.
What if you take a graduating school and you put all the kids on the beach? Why are you laughing? And you put all the kids on the
hilarious.
beach.
Yes.
Yeah, at social distance, right? Because the beaches, let's assume they're open. They're not open yet, but they will be. And you put them on the beach, and you hold graduation on the beach. Now, I would say a park, but that's like been done a million times. But a beach, everybody graduates on the beach. How's that?
That would be about as hot as it was when my son graduated from University of Florida 3 years ago.
So what?
Oh my gosh, was it hot?
Can you imagine graduating in a bathing suit? I think that is flipping amazing.
It would be a great idea.
It is. You could wear one of those old-timer bathing suits that, has the stripes and stuff, or a bikini or whatever. I mean, you got
Your
to...
son has one of those. Gio has one, right?
Gio, yeah, he sent me one. I don't fit in it. But anyway, that's a different story.
But, congratulations to everyone who's graduating. And actually, one of our producers, he sent a link saying, you know what, let us know if you're holding a virtual prom. Because prom is, and Bea talked about this, we should really replay her show, maybe on tomorrow night after Teddy Unscripted on WNN. Right, we can maybe do Teddy at one of them at 7 and do Bea at 7:30 or something. We talked about having a virtual prom, because prom isn't just about buying the dress. It's not just about getting the tuxedo. It's not just about the date. It's a rite of passage. It's about going to the dance and having the party and building friendships and all of those things. So maybe you can have a virtual prom, have some friends come together on a Zoom call or some sort of platform. So let us know. Florida Love Show talked about it too. One of the guests called in, and her daughter has special needs and really is having a hard time understanding that she cannot go to prom. And what will that mean?
Well, then let's make believe we go to prom.
And Kenny had an amazing guest on, and she's a model for Sephora, and she also has autism. And they called and they asked her, what's this going to do for this girl? How is she going to get past this, right? And to some people, you're thinking, oh, it's just prom. But to everyone else, it's a little bit different. So to her, this was a milestone that she was not going to be able to reach, and would this impact her for the rest of her life? So she said, you know what, have a virtual prom. Rachel, she was amazing, beautiful voice, spokesperson for Sephora, and she talks about having autism, and she said, do a virtual prom.
We got to come up with something like everybody else. Do we have a guest at 9:15?
Yeah.
Is he on? Mm-hmm. He is on. Well, let's bring him on, because talking about doing things creatively, let's bring Carmen Cares on. How you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, Tony, nice to meet you.
How are you? Nice to meet you as well.
We are doing great. Tony comes to us from JoJo.
Tony, do me a favor. Turn your computer volume a little down.
A little down? Sure.
Yeah, a little bit. Now, Tony told me that he's a biker. He's a biker guy. And I look at Tony, I'm going to tell you, you're a biker guy.
We try.
Tony, where are you located?
I'm the sales manager at a motor. We're in St. Petersburg, Florida.
And I'm looking at the guys behind you getting dressed. What type of business are you in?
So we sell motorcycles. We're a Harley Davidson dealership, Burt's Barracuda, in St. Petersburg, Florida. And we are deemed essential, so we are open.
You remind me of the guy who had the show for years. And I think he sold Harley Davidsons as well, right? Him and his sons?
Yeah, you're talking about, Orange County Choppers.
Yes, and they had one here in Florida, I think in Fort Lauderdale, one of the stores.
Well, we actually have two of their bikes on our showroom floor right now.
Well, there you have it. Now, I know that your wife her name is Carmen, correct?
Her name is Carmen, correct?
That's correct.
All right, and you're doing something. I want you to tell us what you're doing, because I want everybody to reach out. There's a GoFundMe on this thing. There's a link that we're going to be posting as well. I want everybody, this is a fantastic idea that he's doing in appreciation, and he'll describe it. But I want people, I'm just giving people a chance to get a pen and a piece of paper, please, so you can write this down. Tell us a little bit, Tony, about what you're doing.
So we've decided that the healthcare workers in our area who have been killing themselves with this COVID virus situation. My wife is a frontline nurse in a COVID unit.
Wow.
It's very difficult watching what she goes through every day when she comes home from work. Normal 10 to 12-hour days turn into 15-hour days. We've had 900 members of a nursing home get dumped in her hospital. So we decided to do a ride for appreciation of those frontline, not even frontline, all the hospital workers, from janitors to the security guards, to the nurses, to the surgeons, to raise money to just feed them. Just one day bring them enough food to feed the entire hospital. And it's just blown up. It's only been 3 days we've been working on it, and it's literally blown up in our faces. I personally arranged the ride in honor of my wife, watching her dedication to her job, and everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. Burt's Barracuda, Fran Hosh Lawn Firm, they're just been incredible. They're donating and helping to arrange the ride. Our local hog chapter, Harley Owners Group, has joined in to lead the ride. Law enforcement is going to escort us, and we're going to practice CDC guidelines for social distancing as well. So when we do the ride, we're going to.
Where are you riding to?
It's a short ride. We didn't know how it was going to take off, so it's probably only a 40-minute ride from my store, from this store, Burt's Barracuda in St. Petersburg, to Bayfront Hospital. We're expecting anywhere from 75 to 150 motorcycles to circle the hospital, stop, and just have people come out and take possession of the food that we bring.
I'm seeing
So have lunches
500
for them.
motorcycles already.
I'm gonna tell you, Tony.
Well,
I'm-
it can be. It can be.
It could be
We're
1,000
trying to-
I'm
motorcycles.
seeing a whole lot more than what
I
you're
see
thinking.
a whole lot more than you're saying too. Tony, I'm gonna tell you, I'm very jealous
Tony, I'm gonna tell you, I'm very jealous.
because I wanted to do this
I
here
wanted to
in
do
Dover. Remember, I
this
told
here.
Do you
you,
ride a motorcycle?
man, I'll ride a bicycle.
Have you
around.
ever ridden a motorcycle?
They won't let me. Nobody lets me. And Michelle didn't.
When you
Linda
come to
doesn't,
St.
nobody.
Petersburg, I'll teach you how.
I'm
you
all
come to
in,
St.
but
Petersburg,
people around
we
me
have our
don't
own
because
course.
they're afraid something's going to happen to me. But I'm going to tell you, I was jealous of the fact that he's going to go for the first responders to a hospital. And we talked about this a couple of weeks when this thing started. Remember, I tell you, when they get the fire department, the police, and everything, and just for a standing ovation. But he's going to step more. He's feeding everybody. I mean, from soup to nuts. This is an amazing thing. I mean, he's coming out of nowhere for this.
How big is the hospital? How many beds?
You know, today we're getting a head count for the number of people we have to feed. I think it's 5,000 beds, but I'm not sure. I'm not that. This is not my area of expertise. I'm a motorcycle guy. I ride motorcycles. It popped into my head when I saw my wife walk into the house and nearly collapse on the couch. And I said, I wonder if people know what these nurses and doctors and cleaners and garage attendants go through every single day with that many people in their hospital and have to clean up after those people and feed them and wash them and do all those things. Nobody knows what really goes on in there. You can't even go in and see. We can't go in the hospital to actually show you what happens. My wife comes home, has to strip down outside, put a t-shirt on, put flip-flops on, and go straight into a shower. She's just exhausted. She does sometimes 15-hour days in a row.
Wow.
And she's in a COVID unit, so she's in a unit specified just for patients that have contracted the virus.
So she's in 2 units. They flip-flop her. One is called a rule-out unit. That's where you don't know. We're waiting for test results to come back. So that's the more dangerous unit. We know what's going on in the COVID unit. They're garbed up pretty well. They are face masks. Doesn't mean they can't contract it, but the rule-out unit is more dangerous because they just don't know if anyone has the virus. So you have to be even more cautious there.
And what's the population in St. Petersburg? How many people have been affected by COVID? We don't get each individual numbers. We just get this mass scroll on the bottom of our TVs.
Okay, so you are talking to the wrong guy. I just protect my mom, protect my wife, and try not to pay attention to statistics.
Good for you.
My statistics are more my family and the people around us. Our dealership, on our floor in our dealership, we have a 6-foot box so people understand the distance they have to keep from one another. We are very conscious of social distancing. So I can only speak to what's right in front of my face. I don't really get so involved.
I love that attitude. You're not engaged in the news because it is what it is. You're living it with your wife.
That's right.
Tony, my
I have an
son.
80-year-old mom.
Tony,
living
my
My son lives in Tampa. Now,
My son
Gio
lives in Tampa.
is
Now,
actually
Gio
responsible
is
for
actually
everything
responsible
when
for
you
everything
meet us, everything around us
meet
that
us,
we've built on
everything
the
around us
platform.
that
My
we've
son, when he
built
was
on the
14,
platform.
started
My
this
son, when
whole
he was
thing. But
14, started this whole
he's
thing.
in Tampa, and he has
he's in
dedicated
Tampa,
himself
and
to
he has
say,
dedicated
when this is
himself
all
to
over,
say,
we'd like to
when
do
this is all
something
over,
from the
we'd like to do
hospital,
something from the
barring
hospital.
HIPAA, of course. Something from the
Barring HIPAA.
hospital,
Something from
and
the
get out there
hospital,
and have your
and get out
wife and
there
you
and have
present,
your
talking
wife
to
and
maybe
you
the
present,
administrators or
talking to maybe
something,
the
just to say
administrators or
thank you.
something,
I
just
would
to say
love
thank
to be
you.
able to do
I would
that
love
in
to
every
be able to do
hospital
that
in the
in
country,
every
to be honest
hospital in
with
the
you. I know that's
country, to be honest
impossible.
with you. I know
But we
that's
can start
impossible.
somewhere.
But we can
So
start
Gio says
somewhere.
when this is all
So
over, you're
Gio
gonna
says
hook
when
up
this
with
is
you,
all
maybe
over,
do
you're
something
gonna
under
hook
a
up with you, maybe
fundraiser or
do
something,
something under a
because this is
fundraiser or
not
something.
going to
Because
stop
this is not going to stop
mentally
mentally.
afterwards. This is going to affect your wife
Afterwards.
for
This
the
is
rest
going
of her
to
life.
affect your wife
It's
for
going
the
to
rest
affect
of her
you, your
life.
family,
It's gonna
everybody
affect you,
around
your
you.
family, everybody
This is
around
just
you. This is
craziness in
this is
slow
just
motion is the way I
craziness in
call
slow
it.
motion
So I
is the
want
way
to I want to applaud and
So
thank you for the effort that you're doing. We're going to be posting your GoFundMe for the rest of the week, and maybe on Saturday and Sunday we can do that as well.
When is the ride?
When is the ride?
The ride is Wednesday, May 6th. Kickstands up at 11:30 in the morning. Although contributions are not required to ride, anything that people would like to donate, we'd be very pleased to accept. The other part about that is if we have money left over from the GoFundMe account, and guys, I'm not the most literate guy, so I just create an account. I have to see if I can get you the link to that, but it is on my Facebook page. And
We have the
Birch
link, yeah.
We have
Barracuda.
the link, yeah.
Yeah, we
Okay.
got it.
So our intent is, if this goes well, which we believe it will, their next stop is going to be the VA hospital, Pine. I'm not sure the name of it, but it's the VA hospital in St. Pete, and that would be our next stop to feed that hospital. So it's not. We don't expect it to stop Wednesday. We're going to hope that we can do it with many of the healthcare workers.
Well, I have an idea for you,
Well, I have an
Tony. We
idea for you,
interviewed a
Tony.
young
We
lady who
interviewed a young
is
lady
Miss St.
who is
Petersburg
Miss St. Petersburg
through the Miss
through
America
the Miss
pageant.
America pageant.
Her name is Alana
Her
Scherer,
name is
and
Alana
she's
Scherer,
all about
and
giving
she's
back
all
to
about giving
charity
back
and
to
children.
charity and
She
children.
went to FSU.
She went
She's
to
now here in
FSU.
Coral
She's now
Springs
here in
while
Coral Springs
all of this is
while
going on.
all
But
of
she
this is
is
going
Miss
on.
St.
But she
Petersburg,
is
and she
Miss
is
St.
running for
Petersburg,
Miss
and she is running
Florida
for Miss
in the Miss
Florida
America
in the
pageant.
Miss
So I
America
would
pageant.
like to
So I
connect
would
the two
like
of
to
you,
connect the two of you.
and maybe she can do
And
some
maybe she can do
virtual
some
shout out or
virtual
something
shout-out or
through Miss
something
America
through
and what
Miss
you're doing.
America and
Yeah,
what
huge
you're
following
doing.
there.
That would be terrific. That would be
So I'm going
terrific.
to make that
I'm
connection
going
with
to
you.
make that connection
You know,
with
we
you.
always say we never
You know,
have
we always
things
say we
come
never have
forward, and
things
this
come
young
forward,
lady
and
has
this young
come
lady
forward
has
over
come
and over
forward
again.
over and
Everybody's
over
on
again.
her now. Everybody's using it. But that's what this is supposed
Right?
to
It's
do.
about networking.
It's
I
about
love it.
networking.
What kind of bike do you ride, Tony?
I have a CVO Road Glide. Of
You know
course,
what
a
that
Harley.
is?
Of course, a Harley Davidson. If
Oh,
you.
it's a nice bike, I can tell you that.
Oh, how is business
Oh, how
going?
is
You're
business
considered
going?
essential.
You're
People
considered
coming in, are
essential.
they
People coming
buying?
in, are they buying?
They are. This is probably, if you can believe this, if you took out our event months where we have St. Pete Beach Bike Fest and our expo, this is probably the second best month we've had since I've been with the store in over a year. So people are coming out and people are supporting the people who are working here. They have to make a living. They have to eat. When I first started, I said, well, maybe we're not essential. We sell motorcycles, but we also service the sheriff's department's motorcycles as well. But there are people in this store who have to eat. They have to provide for their families. We don't have anybody in our store on unemployment or begging for it or needing it. We just they're working, they're practicing social distancing, and it's a wonderful thing to be able to help those people that work with me. So.
Wow. You know, I love the stories,
You know, I
the
love
hometown stories
the
that
hometown
people are
stories that
doing
people
well.
are doing
And
well.
businesses can
And
survive
businesses
and
can
thrive.
survive and thrive.
And that is why I'm so glad
And
you're
that
not
is why I'm
watching
so
the
glad
news,
you're not watching
because
the news,
the
because
side of what we get
the
to do
side
is
of
see
what
the
we
human
get to do
interest
is see the
stories
human
of it.
interest stories
And
of
see
it.
the reality of
And
what's
see the
going
reality
on
of
on the
what's
other
going on
side
on the
of
other
illness. You're getting
side
both
of illness.
sides. I
You're
mean,
getting
you've
both
got the
sides.
business
I mean,
side,
you've
and you've
got
seen
the
what your
business
wife
side
is
and you've
going through.
seen what
You're
your
really
wife is
living
going
both
through.
sides
You're
of
really
it.
living both sides of it.
Well, that's why we insist. I mean, I don't want to be a contributor to my wife's workload. I don't want to create the virus. I want to make sure that we practice all the
Sure.
social distancing guidelines from the CDC. We don't want to put people in the hospital. We want to have people a place to. We serve free beer all day long in our store. People come here
I'm in.
just to So I know that sounds crazy, but it's, some people have nowhere to go and nothing to do. And as long as they're practicing social distancing, I don't see any issues with that. It's a great store. We love what we do. If you're not part of a biker community, it's hard to explain it, but it's a brother and sisterhood of people who care about their community. I wouldn't be surprised if we had 500 bikes, but I don't want to overstate the cause or what we're doing. I wouldn't be surprised. People are calling me from everywhere, both
That's right.
coasts. North
Everybody
Fork,
call.
South Fork.
Everybody, and even if you can't give your presence as a donation enough, because when tomorrow comes and you're called to do something more, it'll be there. Can you imagine 500, maybe even more? And he fills up everything. He's gonna look around, and I want pictures, Tony. I want you sending pictures, because we have to keep going out for the next event and everything else. I wish that we could be there. I'm gonna see if I send Gio down there. That's a tremendous undertaking you're doing, and my hat's off to your wife for everything she does. It's like anything else. We're first responders. We're very proud of the fact that they are our first line of defense, and I wish her that she stays safe. And I want to thank you, and stay in touch. As this comes on, I'm going to call you to do this again, and let's just make some noise.
Fantastic. Stay well, Tony.
Guys,
Thank you so
for-
much.
Tony, thank you so much.
And thank you. We appreciate it.
Stay safe.
Now I want a motorcycle.
Oh my gosh, let's go to commercial break.
I want a motorcycle.
Do you really?
I always wanted. Then Sarah, everybody thinks that Freddie is a klutz. I'm not a klutz.
I don't even want you to get on a ladder to change the light
What is
bulbs.
it
We're
with
gonna be
people?
in the
I want to get a
dark soon.
tricycle motorcycle, a 3-wheeler. Those are nice, but they look like an old man's bicycle. I want a Harley, big handlebars.
I once went on a moped, burned my leg.
A moped.
My babysitter took me on a moped. Isn't that
moped.
funny? I was a kid.
I once went on a bicycle and it had like a little motor underneath it, and I pedaled. I don't know what
She
happened.
picked me up from my piano teacher's house. I don't even know if my parents even know. That's how young I was.
A moped.
On a moped.
Did you wear a helmet?
I don't think so. I was little. It was back in the day when a long time ago is all I can say. Let's go to commercial break. I tell you to give us a call, 866-224-5422. Let's support Carmen Cares. We will post a link for the GoFundMe page. I'm going to reach out to Miss St. Petersburg, Alana Scherer,
See if she can help
and
them
see
out.
if she can help them out. Everyone seems to want to get her forward on their show, right? She does a lot of great things.
She's a charming young lady and big following and big heart. And listen, she should win. Florida, she should win it.
100%. Stay tuned. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. Teddy's on the board from her home. We will see you in a few.
At Carmen Care Advanced Laser Therapy, our professional team specializes in finding the best alternative laser therapy treatments for your painful conditions. Do you suffer with chronic pain, a post-traumatic injury, or simply looking for the benefits of cell rejuvenation to the skin? Schedule a consultation today to understand how photobiomodulation can help reduce your symptoms, reduce or even eliminate pain. Give us a call today, 561-405-9577. We focus on treating you who has a disease, not a disease that defines who you are. Contact Carmen Care Laser Therapy today, 561-405-9577 or carmencarelaser.com.
If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would listen. It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power, a platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your visions, a voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have a platform you deserve to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting CAFE to 55312. That's CAFE to 55312. Or call us at 866-224-5422. Your voice can make a difference.
His abilities as a dry cleaner are so undeniable, Dry Clean Only tags have his phone number printed on the back. Stubborn stains sometimes call him late at night just to apologize. His pickup and delivery service is so fast, his vans have pit crews. He is the most interesting dry cleaner in the world.
You don't always dry clean, but when you do, use A&T dry cleaners. Stay dirty, my friends.
The benefits of CBD are well known, but not all CBD is equal. At your CBD store, our award-winning products are made from organic industrial hemp. Your CBD store products are third-party tested for purity, and we offer a wide variety of products to meet your needs and preferences. From water solubles, topical creams and oil drops, to pet products. Visit your CBD store and let our knowledgeable staff guide you. Your CBD store.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
And we are back at the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Well, what a great sponsors we have.
I love the, we were just talking about this, first responder. I didn't realize the dry cleaners, Mr. AKA Pitbull.
A&T Dry Cleaners, they are incredible what they do. Their prices are right on par with everybody else's. from Coral Gables, actually from Pinecrest, I think, down in South Miami, all the way up to the Delray border. They will pick up your cleaning, they will clean it, and they will deliver it.
And they leave it at your front door.
Free delivery, free pickup. You can leave it outside, so there's no contact. They're working with the hospitals. They're working with the senior centers.
I didn't know this. I didn't know they work with the hospitals. I know they work with Miami Heat and the NFL, Miami Dolphins, all the football, all the professional teams.
They're doing sheets and laundry
I
and
didn't know
bedding
that.
for senior centers and all of that. So they are a sponsor of tonight's show, also of the 2-Minute Warning.
Yeah.
And they actually cleaned your other hat.
They did. I have it in the archives. I put it in my
It's going in the Smithsonian with my wand
with my camera.
one day.
But it's amazing because I didn't realize that they actually pick up laundry from the hospitals and they're frontliners because they have to get all wrapped up and everything else to do this as well. So hats off to the
A&T
cleaners.
Dry Cleaners. So contact them. They will pick it up. It's, I go home and we really have no contact here with anybody. But I have a pile of dry cleaning that needs to go. I don't even go to the dry cleaners. I did my first outing yesterday when I left here.
You what?
I went my first outing. I haven't been anywhere.
That's not true.
Where have I been?
You walked around the track that was closed, which I called the police on you. They're waiting for you to do it again.
What track?
I don't know, some track you talked about weeks ago that you decided to take a walk.
I
and
went
it
to
was
the park in
closed.
my neighborhood.
You told me it was closed.
Yeah,
And you were there anyway.
But
The golf courses were closed.
I haven't
till
been
yesterday.
in a public place. I haven't been in a store. I haven't been
A
anywhere.
park is a public place.
So I went to the dollar store yesterday, and you should see me trying to put my mask on in the car. That was a whole scene. It kept popping off
Everybody
my ear,
wants to
popping off
see
my
that. Can
ear.
you put your mask on today?
Yeah, it's in my car. Kept popping off my ear, and then realized lipstick and masks, not such a good thing.
You're supposed to take your makeup off.
Earring and masks, again,
Are you
not
supposed to
such a
take
good
off your
thing.
earring?
So wait, so I'm in my car, kind of getting virtually undressed just to put on my mask. And I had to take my rings off to put on my gloves. I mean, this was a whole thing. And now I'm sitting in the parking lot going, is this even worth it to go into the dollar store to get a few things that I needed? And I had to take off my earrings, I had to take off my rings, I had to take off my lipstick. And there's a guy sitting across from me in the parking lot. And he's cracking up because he's thinking, who is this crazy woman only trying to put on her mask? And I'm thinking to myself, if this is what we're doing for the next 18 months, I may never go anywhere.
Your mother wants to know why you have to take off your rings to put on a mask. I have
To
no
put
idea.
on my gloves.
Oh, you put on gloves too. You didn't say that. You said mask.
Put on my gloves.
So you put gloves and mask on. So let me get this right. Your mask covers your head, right? And you put your glasses
Wait,
on?
I had my glasses on too.
So you had your
I had to take-
glasses and your mask and your gloves. You look like a walking goonie googie.
So I had to take off my glasses to put on the mask. And I don't have very large ears, so the elastic kept coming off and coming off. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is like a candid camera moment. I really should have had a GoPro in my car because it was a scene unto itself. I was exhausted by the time I left there. But there were a lot of cars out on Federal Highway. Let me just tell you
Well,
that.
people are starting to come out.
There were definitely a lot of cars out on Federal Highway.
Now, the bottom line here is that they are going to have a mandate. They're going to suspend some, they're going to start bringing some stuff back, from my understanding, next week. They're going to work from West Palm Beach down because as you go further south, it gets hotter and hotter. And do the right thing. Have a mask with you at all times. Keep an extra mask in your car, if you're going to be in your car. Now, do you wear your mask in your car?
No,
Why not?
because it's only me.
Chuck never goes in your car?
No?
Your daughter never goes in your car? Your son? These people never go in your car. I find that very hard to
My
believe.
daughter, but my daughter's living with me, so
I understand that.
I don't
but-
wear a mask in the house
But
either.
it's close quarters. No?
No.
Okay. I wear it in the car.
No one else has been in the
And
car
people
with
look
me.
at me and take pictures.
No one else has been in the car with me. Not even the car wash. I washed the outside of my car, and then we came home and cleaned the inside of my car.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me either. But
The car
that's-
wash was not open to do the inside of your car.
You see, and then you tell me that you don't wear your mask on the inside of the car.
So
It's
I
like,
just drove through the car. I did put it on when I went to pay at the car wash, though. That I did do. I put on the inside when I was in the car. I went to pay them and all of that. But you can take it to the point of being crazy and overly careful, or you can, there's always a fine
That's
line.
okay.
Everyone
You
has
know,
a reasoning.
there's no such thing as overly careful. Just be overly careful. It's all cool. Not a problem. Get into the habit of wearing the mask and the gloves. Now, the gloves is a different animal. I get lectured every day about gloves, how to take them off. You know, you're supposed to squish one glove in the other and then take it off that way. And then wash your hands, which I find totally insane. Why were you doing that anyway after you had gloves
Well,
on?
that's a
But
whole other thing when you're out in public.
it's just craziness.
Right? You put on your gloves, you put on your mask. You can't take off your mask until you take off your gloves. So you have to take off your gloves first, Dispose of them in a bag in your car. Wash your hands, which means you cannot wash your hands in the car. So you need the hand sanitizers, and you do all of this on the outside of your car
Now-
before you go on the inside of your car.
So you didn't get rid of the gloves inside the dollar store
No,
in the garbage can.
no,
You put it in a bag.
yes.
Okay. You see, normally I take it off as I'm going out and I throw it in the garbage can because
There was no
I
garbage
don't have
can.
no bag.
And then I had to open the door. So
Well,
then
that's
you're doing
another
all this
problem.
on the outside of your car, right? And you're sanitizing your hands, you're opening your car, 'cause then you got to put on your seatbelt, then you got to take your mask off with clean hands. This is all theoretically in my head. So then what pops in my head is you saying, get out of a parking lot. Don't sit in a parking lot. Sit in a parking lot. I'm now a freaking standing target in the parking lot with my glasses and my mask and my gloves and the hand sanitizer, a bottle of bleach, and all the things in my bag. Anyone can come by because you are so not focused on getting in your car and being safe. You are too focused on taking off your mask and
Are you
being
hearing
clean.
This is like a
This
like a
all
cartoon.
happened yesterday
All I
after
need
I
is
left
popcorn
here.
for this movie. Okay, Einstein. Let me give you a real quick 1, 2, 3. You ready?
Uh-huh. One.
Okay. When you open up your car door with your gloves on, you're gonna sit in your car. You're gonna take off your gloves. You're gonna turn on your car, and you're going to leave. Because theoretically, if you take off your gloves correctly, the sanitizing part, which you're going to do in the car, will happen eventually. I don't see it being a problem if you kept your gloves on the right way. As you are leaving the parking lot, I didn't ask you to take off your mask. I'm asking you, do you wear your mask in your car? Keep it on until you get out of the parking lot. You take off the glasses, and if you go boop,
The
it comes
earrings are
right
off.
off.
Yeah.
That's all. Why are you making a production? Well, let me decide what ring I should take off first. Which earring? Is my lipstick right? You see, I have never met so many people worry about their makeup until now. Meanwhile, they got hair growing out of their legs, they got it growing out of their ears, but they're worried about the lipstick. Explain to me, Lucy, why are we making such a big production? Leave it on until even if you get home, there's no problem.
So that was the whole thing. I'm sitting, let me just tell you, so the man that was sitting in the parking lot when I got
He
there,
probably took pictures.
after all of this, he was still sitting in the parking lot, and all I could do was think of you saying, get out of the freaking parking lot.
He was probably the guy looking to do the damage from the parking lot.
And he had his mask hanging on one ear. So I'm just saying, your
Well-
theory is in my head.
Well, I'm going to tell you what's the worst thing.
Uh-huh.
When you put on a black mask, right, because we get the black mask, and a black hat, I had a black shirt, black shorts, black socks, and black slipper. And I'm standing in the line, the guy comes, and then he taps me on the shoulder. I says, sir, you are in my bubble. He says, I know. He had gloves on. He says, I know, but I got to tell you, you look cool. And I said, oh, thank you very much. And then I took off my mask, and he says, I know you. I said, I put the mask back on because I don't want to engage in conversation about the show out there because, you know, it is what it is. So, word to the wise. Keep your mask on. They don't know who you are.
It's hilarious, right? So you should have been there. It was the thing.
Oh, I can imagine.
It was such a thing.
I would have turned my phone on and I would have taken pictures of Dawn deciding how to take off and put on her mask.
And then I was thinking the last time I was at the dollar store, Jen G and I decided we should do a show. What you could actually buy in the dollar store, almost like an overnight in the dollar store. You could really live in the dollar store overnight. They have everything you possibly need there. And when I left there, I thought that's even an exhausting segment to even think about. Now it's me and Jen G in the dollar store with our masks and gloves on, trying not to touch what to do. You put it down. You can't even focus. It's a whole mindset shift.
Ladies and gentlemen, for you who do not know who Jen G is, which everybody knows by now, she and this one together, the two of them, will buy out every store. When we got the furniture in here, what did Jen G do? She went and she bought furniture.
Yes.
When you get a painting, what she do? She went and she bought painting.
True that.
If Jen G and this one go to the same dollar store, close it because they're going to buy everything. Oh, I'll take 2 of these.
That's
Oh, what
like the
about
math
this?
question. Remember, if the train leaves from point A to point B and it goes at this, if Dawn and Jen walk into the dollar store and they spend 2 hours in the dollar store,
It'll be nothing
and
left.
Dawn spends X and Jen spends Y,
X plus Y.
What did Freddie buy?
Freddie was just in amazement looking at the guy in the parking lot. Who's still there, by the way.
I'm telling you, these are the things that go through my mind at the end of
You know,
the day.
not for nothing, but I want to have your mind evaluated. Evaluated, seriously, because you got some serious issues, man.
It's
Holy
amazing what goes on
smokes.
from the time I leave you to the time I see you in the morning that we can actually fill a whole hour on these conversations.
You know, the funny thing is that we're doing video productions and stuff after the shows. In between shows, it's just nonstop around here. I'm more exhausted now than before the whole
True.
thing broke loose, because there's so much more you have to get ready now. So I watched Dawn, and she says, "Hey, I'm making coffee. Want a cup of coffee?" I said, "Oh, I love a cup of coffee." Then she goes, it's like the guy with the purple crayon in the book. She'll go over there, and the purple crayon, I watch her go, and she'll clean over there, and she'll go clean over there, and she'll come and ask me again, "Do you want a cup of coffee?" It's the second time, yes. And then she'll go over there, and then she'll go over there, and she'll go outside, and she'll go over there, and she'll go over there, and an hour later,
I left my coffee in the kitchen.
I left my coffee in the kitchen.
I know.
You're like a movie, man.
It's exhausting, but I can't be the only one. It's
Yes, you're the
mentally-
only one in the world.
Mentally exhausting
No, you're the only one.
and draining.
You're the only one. People are writing in, Dawn, go, Dawn, power. Don't encourage her. What's the matter with you?
But I did go home yesterday, and I got a treadmill for my birthday last month because I saw all of this coming down for the gym. And when I said to my daughter at the beginning of March, I said, "You know what, I'm just not comfortable going to the gym anymore." And she goes, "Mom, you're overreacting." And I knew for me, I was cleaning a weight, we're using it, and then going back to do a hit and cleaning that. And I'm like, this just doesn't make any sense to me. So
You were doing a what?
a hit,
A hit.
a high-intensity workout, yeah, interval
It's called a
training.
hit.
High-intensity interval
Very
training.
cool. Hit. You knew that?
So I get this
Us
treadmill.
non-hitters don't understand
But
your
here's
lingo.
the technical side of my
me
treadmill.
your
It's got a
technical
beautiful screen, and you can train with the trainers, and we're sharing it, so everyone has their own account. But I couldn't get back to the series that I wanted. I was so frustrated, but she got me back to my series. And I'm wondering now, I think this might be one of the hardest industries for people to get back into, is the gyms.
Why?
Because I think a lot of people have learned that you can work out at home, and there's a lot of virtual classes and a lot of online things that
That's
you
not
can
the
do.
way people go to the gym, Dawn. Come on now. That's not the way people go to the gym.
That's why I go to the gym.
Well, maybe you're an exception to the rule, but 98% of the people that go to the gym is because they want to look buff.
But you can
Do
work
you know,
out at home.
You know you have to look buff to go to a gym? You
No.
don't see no big, what do you mean no?
I'm not buff, and I go to a gym.
You see what I got to deal with? You see, right? Just nod if you agree. And thank you very much. Dawn,
Fred?
I'm going to ring my bell because that's the alarm clock. Wake up. When I used to go to a gym and I was lifting weights and I looked like Hercules, I loved going to the gym because I wasn't embarrassed.
You go to meet people.
You're going to meet people. You're going to socialize.
Yeah,
Hey,
that
how's
is
that
true.
barbell doing for you?
That is true. You go to meet people.
So people go to the gyms to socialize. But in Florida, marriages are made in gyms.
That is probably true, too.
My future wife, my future husband is waiting for me at the gym. You ever notice that women and men got to get their hair done right and get the nails done right, and women with the makeup. Who the hell puts on makeup to go to the gym?
Me.
Well, there you have it. But this is my point. It is a social club. It is the dance studios of the 70s.
It is
now
a
the
social
gym.
club. That is true.
So they're not, you know what the one thing that's gonna happen to this whole thing when you go to a gym now? Is that you have to wipe down your equipment,
Yeah.
but you're gonna have to use sanitizer. That's what's gonna come down. They're gonna leave a sanitizer bottle there, which should be
The gyms,
sanitized.
they have that anyway, though.
But now they're gonna be using it. How many people, you ever seen this McGilla using the machine and he just walks away sweating and stinky and he don't clean the machine? He don't clean the machine. What do? Do you run and say, excuse
No, I clean
me?
up after myself. We haven't said hello to any of these amazing people that are talking to us.
She doesn't, she's ignoring me. You know
So we came up with a name. Actually, Faith did for Teddy.
Which is?
The CIO,
Okay, what does that mean?
Chief Innovation Officer. How do you like that, Teddy? Chief Innovation Officer. Everyone's saying hello, good morning, Jojo. Sylvia says hello.
Well, we want to thank
Nice.
JoJo. Wait a minute,
Yes.
JoJo on the Go-Go. We want to thank you
Good
for
morning, everyone.
bringing Anthony on. How you doing, Nessa? Bring Anthony on the segment this morning. That segment was brought to you by JoJo on the Go-Go, a new segment that we're working on with JoJo wants to do home productions up in
Melbourne Beach.
I keep thinking Myrtle Beach.
You okay?
No, that's just
That was Slick is in the house.
Think
NASA's
this
in the
falls all over the
house.
place. So I want to thank JoJo for that piece. And she's texting me. She says, did you tell to Tony if you missed a segment at 9:20 around there, he was on.
Yes, we're going to post that link as well, what they're doing for Carmen Cares. I really think he's going to have about 500 bikes.
I think, you
People
know,
are going to come from everywhere.
do you know that bikers
It's just such a close-knit community.
But bikers, you ever notice that bikers are always looked at as gang members?
People
because there are
judge.
there's some mean gang members. The Hells Angels in New York City. I told you my Hells Angels story in New York, right?
Well, hence the name Hell's Angels might
That's
be
the name of the
sort
gang.
some sort of connotation to that.
Hells Angels are one of the most biggest and famous. The Hells Angels actually have protected presidents. That's a different story. But when I went to NYU and there was a transit strike, I had to walk from the FDR to NYU. It was quite a walk.
There was a transit strike?
In New York, yeah. All the buses and
So
trains
how
on
do
that
people
strike.
get around?
You should have seen it. It was craziness. I used to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go on my father's van when he used to go down to Brooklyn to Queens, and he used to drop me off on the FDR. Other than that, I didn't go to school. There was no way of getting down there.
Think how interesting that concept is. If there was a theoretical transit strike or shutdown in New York,
They did it for a week.
for now,
Oh,
think
they
it would
forget
have
about
maybe stopped the spread of the virus.
Well, this is what I'm saying. When the transit strike happened
I don't
in
mean
New
a
York,
strike. I mean, in theory, that it did shut down and life did continue.
yeah, well,
right?
they did not have runs or buses running. They did shut down for a week, and they tried to paralyze the city, and for the most part, they did. And I used to walk by, and there was this place. It looked like a bar, and there was like thousands of bicycles out there, motorcycles. So I used to cross the street because I was a little scared for my life. And one guy came over one day. He says, "Come here." And I said, "Oh, man, here we go." And I went in, and I used to wear a raincoat. I thought it was like Dr. Clouseau. And they used to say, "Are you a cop?" It's the first thing they asked me. I says, "No." He says, "Well, where you going?" I says, "I'm going to NYU. I'm a student there."
What color is your raincoat? Yellow?
It was like, not yellow. It's like that tan color. What difference does that make? And the guy says to me, "Oh, I want this. I'm the leader of this." And he gave me the whole history in the Hells Angels. And I said, "Oh, very cool." And he said to me, "Well, we noticed that you've been walking all week, and we were wondering, who are you? We thought you were taking pictures or something." I said, "No, absolutely not. This is my attaché case that I had. I go to NYU, and I show them my pass." So the girls came out from the gang, and they said, "Oh, that's so nice." He says, "Why don't we give this guy a ride to school?" Now, I'm thinking that they're messing with me, So they have this voluptuous
Woman.
woman on this big hog, and I sit in the back, and no helmet and none, and they give me an escort to NYU. It must have been 10 bikes. And I'm like, wow, no one's ever going to believe this. And I didn't have a cell phone to take pictures or anything in the day. And they dropped me off, and they did this for, I would say, maybe 5 or 6 days until the strike was over.
I have to say, and Teddy's probably rolling her eyes right now as well, and Slick too. You have more stories than anyone has
I
ever
will
lived in a
take
lifetime.
you to their place. I'm telling you, it's a true story.
How do you have so many stories?
Oh, my
How
God.
many lives have you lived in this lifetime?
Dude, when I went to NYU, they said,
He's laughing.
now you got to understand something. I went to school in Washington Square Park, baby. Washington Square Park is the epicenter of craziness.
Yes.
Do you remember the Piano Man? He's been in a million movies. The guy with the broken piano, and he plays in Washington Square Park. He invests all the money he gets, and they fine-tune his piano to eat. It's the best thing I've ever seen. I was offered drugs. The Hells Angels used to take me to school. You name it, I've seen it. NYU, always something going on.
Amazing. Your stories have stories is all I can tell you.
I will take you to them. They were the nicest group. And when I went down to the Keys, I stopped at the very beginning of the Keys. There's a bar there. And there's a million bicycles there. And I found out that that's a biker place where they go. So a friend of mine.
Isla Morada?
Yeah. A friend of mine that I know, he belonged to there. And he used to work for me. And I didn't know it at the time. And he invited me to go down. And he took me around. I must have met 1,000 of them. The thing was ridiculous. And they were the nicest people I've ever met in my life. Now, they were all bad apples and everything, but as far as my experience has been, it's been the best.
It's been fun chatting with you.
It's nice. Thank you very much. Just telling you my
More
bike story.
information on Carmen Cares for the bike ride over in St. Petersburg. We'll put the link on our social media site. The biking ride starts 11:30 on Wednesday, May 6th.
Somebody wrote in, they would like you to see you on a hog. Now, that's a big bike.
Why is it called a hog, by the way?
Because it's huge.
Go like this.
And you got to sit on it.
Can
and
I
they
go
would,
like this?
They would, yeah, you can do anything you want. And they want to see you on a hog wearing your mask, your glasses, your gloves.
That would be a sight, let me tell you
With
that.
your hair blowing in the wind, yes, it would be a sight. You'll
All
probably fall
proceeds
off
to
the
go to
bike.
charity. How about that?
Just to take pictures.
Forget the fashion show if someone asked me to be in. I think that might raise more money than anything else.
I think so too. We should do that. Let's get a hog. You want a hog with a mask? And oh, that'd be hilarious.
That's going to be the new trend, is all I can tell you.
You know, the newest trend right now is the color gloves you wear. They have black and blue.
To me, it's just a matter
Clear.
of getting the gloves.
Yeah.
He's laughing.
I'm going to invent. Now, people love my idea of having a straw sewn into the mask. Sewn in, not just, people like that idea. I came up with a new one. Advertisement on your gloves. Because everybody's doing it on the mask. Advertisement, eat at Denny's.
That might be lunch.
See what I got to put up with? I mean, are you catching the problem here?
Oh my goodness. Have a great morning, everyone. Stay tuned, 10:30. We've got Slick Speaks. He's going to be on. I don't know what he's talking about. We're going to go find out. 11:30 is Fuego on our Fuego station. Slick Speaks will be on 20/20 Vision. And 12 o'clock, we will be right back here. I think we're playing some trivia games.
We had to talk about
Our
that.
Chief Innovation Officer
We
has
have
a
a
trivia
meeting.
game
We have
for
to
us.
call at 10 o'clock.
So we're going to be playing some trivia games. We've got some other guests joining us. We've got Jay Harmon joining us at 1:30. We're going to see what he's been creating during quarantine.
Very nice.
Change some art around, and have a great morning, everyone. Stay safe, and we'll see you in a few.
Think of us when you're eating that bagel, and don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show is over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. Well, see you next time.